Ever feel like you're kind of, I don't know, stuck on autopilot, just going through the motions?
Yeah, I've been there.
Today, we're diving into something powerful, like a tool, really, that can help you shift gears, from autopilot to, well, gratitude, and rediscover the joy in everyday moments.
Sounds like a worthwhile deep dive.
We're unpacking this insightful blog post called Grace by Julie Wall. She calls herself a truth teller.
I like her style already. Truth tellers, they usually cut to the heart of things.
Exactly. And Julie, she doesn't disappoint. She starts right off with this quote from Sarah Hawkes. And get this, Hawkes was writing way back in the 1800s.
Wow, okay.
She said, "The recollection of the many instances I have experienced of the goodness of God, compared with my great unthankfulness, covers me with shame and sorrow. How have I been robbed of peace and confidence by giving way to murmuring, discontent, and fretfulness?" Heavy stuff.
You know what really strikes me about that quote is how it links discontentment to like a loss of peace.
Hmm.
It's like when we're fixated on what we lack, we totally miss out on the joy of what we already have.
Right.
And that lack of peace can really, really eat away at us over time.
It's so true. And Julie connects this to this like universal human tendency.
Right.
She points out how even the Israelites in Exodus, they struggled with complaining and ungratefulness, even after like experiencing incredible miracles.
I love that parallel. It shows how timeless this human thing, this tendency really
Yeah.
is. Whether it's, biblical times or today,
Yeah.
we seem hardwired to focus on what's missing instead of what we've been given.
Yeah.
Recognizing that pattern, though,
Yeah.
both in ourselves and just like throughout history, that can be a powerful first step toward change.
I like that. And this is where Julie's approach gets kind of interesting. Like, she doesn't just talk about gratitude, in theory, she actually shares her own gratitude list. It's really detailed, and it's not your average gratitude list, let me tell you.
Okay, now you've got me curious. What kind of things are we talking here?
Get ready for some variety. She's got everything. From like everyday stuff, like washing machines, those little convenience things we all take for granted, rest stops even, to like really deep experiences. Like she talks about witnessing the beauty of Bulgarian roses once, or feeling a connection to something bigger than herself. And then, oh, this one's great. She's incredibly grateful for two-sided sponges.
Two-sided sponges. That's fantastic. See, I love that. It just shows how many things there are to be grateful for. It's not just, big gestures or material stuff. It's the everyday things, too. The mundane, even.
Yeah. For example, she talks about this old Kia Rio she had. No power windows or anything fancy like that, but she describes it with like this real affection. Remembers how excited she was to get a car loan and how much freedom that little car gave her.
I love that. It shows that gratitude, it's not about what you have. It's about how you see it, right?
Yeah.
Like shifting your perspective to appreciate the value in what might seem ordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We've all had that feeling, getting something we thought we really, really wanted, only for the thrill to kind of fade away.
Mm-hmm.
Cultivating gratitude, though, I think it helps us hold on to that joy, that appreciation a little bit longer.
And it's not all like material things either. There's this one thing on her list that really got me. She was talking about like how grateful she is for the ability to reason with God. She even has this whole funny anecdote about wishing people could fly. So relatable.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It shows how she sees gratitude as like an active thing,
Mm-hmm.
like a dialogue or a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
even with something bigger than herself. But that adds a whole other dimension to it, don't you?
Totally. And speaking of relationships, she gets really real about her family, like her husband's love and her son's empathy, and even like those little things her mom taught her. Stuff like wrapping a present perfectly or making biscuits and gravy. It's like she's finding gratitude for, the people who made her who she is and those little everyday moments.
I see that. It's powerful because she's using gratitude as this lens,
Yeah.
to see the best in everyone. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in the annoying things or take our loved ones for granted.
For sure.
But gratitude helps us appreciate their qualities, their actions, even the little quirks, like their gifts, and that can be so powerful, like for your bond.
So true. It's
Yeah.
like choosing to focus on the good stuff
Uh-huh.
instead of letting those little annoyances get to you.
Exactly. And that kind of brings us to what I find so compelling about like her whole approach. It's not just about feeling thankful. It's about actively making it a habit. By writing this big, long list, she's basically, what's the word? Training her mind to look for the good in every situation.
And that's something anyone can do, right? Like, You don't need a blog to have your own gratitude list. What if you just started with 3 things each day? It could be something small, like a good cup of coffee, a sunny morning, a nice chat with a friend, just those little things that make you smile, even for a second.
Totally. It's all about like making gratitude part of your day, letting it, enrich your life.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a little something to think about. As you go through your day, just try to notice those moments that make you feel grateful, even the small stuff. Maybe jot them down, think about them, really let them sink in. You might be surprised what happens. Because ultimately, gratitude, it isn't just about counting your blessings, it's about letting them fill you up with joy.